Quick rule of thumb. When it comes to a fighting game, there are usually a good few character archetypes to go off of. We have offense, defense, rushdown, zoners, gimmicky, and all-rounders. Normally it's pretty easy to define what archetype a character falls under, but sometimes it does get pretty tough. Some simple examples of easy to spot archetypes on characters in ABA are Grimjaw for offense, Gara for defense, Lancer for rushdown, Frieza for zoning, Ragnar for gimmicky, and Hisoka for all-rounder. Now the reason you'd want to have archetypes like these for your character is so that there's something for everyone, but then we got probably one of the weirdest characters in this game. Now weird characters aren't necessarily new at ABA. We have Law. Yeah, that's kinda it. And for good reason. Because there is only one character who is similar to Law in this regard, but to purposely keep you on edge about who it is, and don't skip this will be good, trust me. Let's look at what makes Law weird as quickly as possible. Also, yes, I am very sick. So, in a nutshell format, Law is weird because he's a gimmick character with offensive moves but is encouraged to play defense. However, his moves are also designed in a way to allow him to zone his enemies out. Room buffs your abilities but requires you to be inside of it. Shambles is a movement and substitute ability. Amputate has long range and is a stupidly good combo starter or even extender. Tucked can be used to discourage enemies, start and extend combos along with having iframes. And there's Counter Shock and Gamma Knife to keep enemies off of you. Law is not a bad character, he's just really strange to work around because you have two options, approach him in room or just wait him out. But on the contrary, a Law user can easily adjust this playstyle to match the character they're fighting, so for all intents and purposes, we can categorize Law as an all-rounder. With that being the case, now we move on to the reason you clicked on this video, the weird character of the hour, Crollo Lucifer. And it's all thanks to, well, basically all his moves. So, let's do something a little fun. I want you to place your bets on what archetype you believe Crollo will fall under. Your four options are offense, gimmick, all-rounder, or defense. The answer will be revealed later, don't skip, I know it's tempting. And if you get it correct, I don't know, I'll think of something cool. Anyway, now that you've got your bets in, let's pick apart Crollo's moveset. On paper, Crollo is a very basic character. Ben's Knife is a movement ability that guard breaks, Skill Hunter pulls a whole myriad of abilities from other characters in the game dependent on your choice, Fun Cloth is your average combo extender, and Indoor Fish is where I cut the crap and start looking at the nitty gritty. All of Crollo's moves are weird. I'm not going to go too far into the Hunter x Hunter lore and depth, but even if some of these are accurately made, it doesn't take away from Crollo's overall weirdness in this game. So, Ben's Knife. It forcibly causes the user to move faster than sprint, and activating it again will force the knife forward and result in an attack. This attack will lock your enemies out from sprinting and dashing, and as I mentioned earlier, is a guard break. Now, for whatever reason, this move seems to have a psychological effect on the enemy, and to test that, let's see how you'd respond to it. The Crollo has out of nowhere used the Ben's Knife and you are clearly not ready for it and will be hit. So your two options are as follow. Will you guard break tank it, or tank the attack? You'd most likely choose guard break tank, whether it's by luck or coincidence, because at least you take less damage and don't suffer its status debuffs, even if temporary. Ben's Knife is one of those moves where you basically can't win against. The Crollo is faster than you, gets a combo or inflicts a debilitating status debuff, and get this, has hyper armor while slashing. Next on our list is, honestly, which do I start with? All of these are stupid. Indoor Fish. Imagine Room, except you have no choice but to avoid it. This is pretty much Crollo's trump card move because once they use it on top of you, you're going to be in what we call a pickle, because now you are forcibly plunged into a do or die situation. Do run away, block, pray the Crollo doesn't get behind you, or pray that they're bad at catching double jumps. Die, Crollo has a guard break, Crollo catches double jumps, get hit by the fish. Now on paper, and even after explaining that, Indoor Fish is not that big of a deal. The problem is that now you have to avoid that area, and the Crollo is free to use Skill Hunter and stall for cooldowns while within his glorified fish tank. Even if he is not doing damage, you do not want Crollo to have his moves up. And while you'll have yours, he's getting more value out of it due to Skill Hunter's nature. And unless you're using a character with a counter or are not right next to the Crollo, this move plunges you into a very annoying situation where your only strategy is getting away as quickly as possible before the fish lock onto you and the Crollo tries something smart. Oh, and if the fish do manage to hit you, congratulations, because now the Crollo has a guaranteed combo starter or extender once the damage kicks in. Lore wishes he had it this good. Next is Skill Hunter, aka he's pulling attacks out of his ass. When fighting a Chrollo, you now have to be conscious that they can pull out almost anything out. You don't know if they're using Powerball, or maybe Pinpoint Shot, or maybe Getsuga Tensha, or maybe honestly, nah, just try guessing at what attack I pulled right now. Crazy, right? Even though Chrollo has dialogue for what attack he pulled out, how often are you able to pay attention to your enemy's dialogue mid-fight? If you have the time to read it, they're either in your combo or you're in theirs, or worse, it's an attack you know you'll be hit by. The Chrollo could have an iframe, a combo starter, a guard break, an extender, and no, you literally won't be able to keep up because there are so many moves he can pull from that you are unironically praying to whoever above that the Chrollo didn't get a guaranteed guard breaking attack. You can anticipate Skill Hunter, but you can't predict its usage or what they get, especially from a far range. Thankfully though, while Skill Hunter is waiting to be used, Indoor Fish and the last move we're about to talk about can't be used, and thank God, because his last move is arguably the goofiest base move a character can have. That attack being Fun Cloth. On a simple look, Fun is a combo starter, extender and ender. It shrinks the enemies and slaps right, only to send them left, while spinning. Now what the game doesn't tell you is that Fun Cloth has hyper armor, slaps right and sends them left. Seriously, why does it do this? And most importantly, Fun Cloth is a frame 1. It hits you before the animation even plays. Your eyes are not deceiving you. Now yes, there are some other characters with moves that may as well be frame 1 or even are frame 1, but when compared to Fun Cloth, this isn't a barrage, grab, volley, or surround AoE. No, this is literally just a basic attack. Here's how many basic attacks in this game are frame 1. Sorry, were you waiting for me to say something? Yeah, there's 0. Literally 0. You know what's funny? We haven't even gone over his awakening, and that's arguably where it gets even weirder, albeit there is still room to argue his base is the auto one. So this is where Chrollo's playstyle gets flipped completely upside down because of one move. But before we look at that move, here are his other moves. Sun and Moon works similar to Ben's Knife, except it doesn't keep you sprinting for as long and has a shorter reach, along with not being a guard break if it isn't charged sufficiently. The upside is that once it lands, your opponent is now marked. Tapping one again will make them explode, handing you a free combo starter on a silver platter. Wonderful. Convert is pretty much a generic attack move. It's got horrible range but extends combos and even changes your appearance, which is wacky. And then Black Voice. Upon using it whether on summon or in the air, you'll be given 4 prompts. These 2 are for use with Order Stamp, whereas with these 2, yeah, you're never using Force Awakening, let's be real here. Now aggression wise, Chrollo's awakening moves are better in that regard, but defensive wise the moves aren't as good. That is until you use Order Stamp. Because apparently a few puppets wasn't enough, nah, you spawn about like over 10 of them at least. Now damage wise these guys are terrible and can easily be blocked. The problem though is that now you're forced to block as these guys slowly whittle you down with next to no room for hope. They act as targets, inflict heavy hit stun, and are way faster than you. Hi, future me here. Slight correction about Order Stamp. They are not as fast as I thought they were. So these runner dummies, they run evidently at the speed if you were running away from someone. So yeah, we're about same speed. So if I spawn them right now and then race my own puppets, I am actually way faster than them, even running sideways. They are just barely faster than running away, but slower than if you were sprinting in the same direction. So yeah, my bad. If a Chrollo uses this and your character can't reliably attack back, yeah, this move's essentially on par with a one-shot without remotely being a one-shot. I'll stand by this sentiment until the day I die, but I think the only thing keeping Chrollo from being an egregiously overpowered character are teleports, as they are the one saving grace from his insanity. Anyway, remember that bet you placed? It's time to reveal what category Chrollo falls under. Chrollo is an all-rounder. And here's how, along with why he barely fits into this category. Apart from the fact he shares similarities with Lore's overall design principle, that being gimmicky nature with clearly defined attack styles, Chrollo essentially fits under everything while not fitting under everything. Think of the quote, good at all, master of none. Chrollo has a rushdown move, but it's not in the League of Lancer or Timeskip Zoro. A completely unique utility move that changes his approach options entirely, a frame 1 combo drop punisher that can easily win move clashes and is by the very definition impossible to react to, and an area of denial or even area control move that puts the enemy into an almost unwinnable situation. Said move acts as both offense and defense, exactly like Law's Rune does, and wouldn't you know, his Awakening unironically follows the exact same design. A rushdown move but with a second part to it, a frame 1 combo drop punisher that can't necessarily win move clashes, is a way better and higher damaging combo extender, an area control move, or technically enemy control, that puts the enemy into a near unwinnable situation, and a completely unique utility move that changes based on the crawler's current preference. The crawler user can do just about anything they want, and in some way or another you will be forced into approaching them or running away like your life absolutely depends on it. A trigger happy crawler will make you fear trying to pressure their block. A defensive crawler will make you weary about approaching them entirely. An aggressive crawler will screw up your playstyle and throw you off course. Crawler is in almost every way superior to Law, because Crawler isn't limited to a utility move in order to be a threat. Just his very existence is a threat to many players because of how difficult he is to properly battle. I mean, how do you approach a character that can jump scare you with almost any move in the game, a frame 1 attack, a rune type move, and difficult to punish guard break? And Lord forbid you hear that Requiem of Death, because once that starts playing, you know what's coming. What I always found interesting about Crawler was his genuine lack of balancing. Most results involving Crawler are usually bug fixes, and even if he does get balance changes, they almost change nothing about him and he's still the same character he was. Evidently less buggy, of course. Normally in these kinds of videos, I try to draw comparisons to other characters with similar design, but Crawler is such an outward character that the only comparison I can make is Law, and as I've already stated, Crawler is in almost every way superior to Law. Law has the better move for aggression, and that's about it. Crawler just has the better moves. Overall, what point am I trying to get across? Is it that Crawler is a broken? Yes. You cannot look at this kit, all the points in this video and improved design, and tell me this character isn't at the very least horrifically obnoxious to play against. But at the same time, I think it's also interesting just highlighting a character in depth like this, because most of the time, people will take characters for what they are at face value without really giving it much thought. Crawler is one of those characters I wanted to highlight, as I believe he goes relatively under the radar in a lot of cases. In a game where new characters are being refined and improved upon older characters, Crawler and Law exist as characters that can't really be made again, let alone refined, because Crawler is the refined character. He's the only one to have a moveset as unique as it is without needing air and ground variants, a status debuff, the ability to pull almost any move from the game, a pseudo debuff, and a 2-part attack with a problematic presence. Crawler is definitely far less hated because he's so much more underused and has had more time in the game compared to someone like, say, Ragnar, but when a Crawler does pop up, it's instantly an eyesore for anyone involved, as now he has a reign over anyone he fights. So be sure to have a teleport in your kit on hand, because if you don't, you definitely won't be seeing sunshine and rainbows when viewing that ugly mug.
Do I amuse you? Am I some sort of clown to you?
I hate my job.
Anyway, I think that just about wraps up this video. If you enjoyed, comment your thoughts on Crawler or something funny. I might make a Discord in future, subscribe, War Sasuke video eventually, and yeah.